Good evening, everyone. BIA is delighted to welcome Dr. Ali Khatibi, Professor of Marketing and Senior Vice President at the MSU Malaysia. With a career spanning over 40 years in academia, he has made significant contributions to research, teaching, and leadership, and has authored influential books and received awards for innovation. Today, he will be speaking on leadership and good governance as drives of organizational transformation and growth with AI. Over to you, Dr. Khatibi.
Hi, good evening to everyone. Salam alaikum, and it's nice to be with all of you on Saturday evenings. Can you hear me clearly?
Alaikum
Yes,
salam,
doctor.
doctor.
Yes, doctor. Good
Walaikum
evening.
assalam. Yes, doctor, we can hear you.
It's good to be
Alaikum
with
salam,
you
doctor.
here, and I would like to share some of my research area with everyone today, especially on using AI, an organization looking for the growth. But the biggest challenges we are facing is a good governance and leadership. And if we look around over us, there are many worryings or bad news is coming is AI is taking over our job, the human job. And there are many seminars is running around everywhere, either in UAE, in the Middle East, in Malaysia, in Asia, and promoting about AIs. But from my own personal science, I support AI, but I go against AI. And I give a lot of talk in many organizations and the universities and institutions to talk about we should not worry about AI. AI is a tool to make our job much easier comparing to what we do. There are many questions is raising on AI is going to take the human job. But my question is going to be, why AI? If we look 10 years ago, we were worrying and we were concerned on the big data. If you can recall back, everywhere we were talking about the big data. And today, we don't talk so much about big data. We talk about AI. Maybe another few years, we talk about another tools. But when we look into challenges, we are looking to the organization is happening today. Why we should worry AI is going to take our job or replacing the human if the human is doing the right job. If the person is going to put heart and soul of supporting the organizations. And the biggest challenges, based on many researchers showing that, all right, organization is going down. We are depending to the machines to do the human job. And one of the biggest problems we have seen in many researchers showing that is leadership is not doing the right job. If you look around everywhere, from US to the Europe to Asia, good governance, corruptions is always is a hotline of any kind of the news today. But one of the things we need to look carefully, all right, how organization is going to play the role to support the challenges we are facing today in terms of the managing the organization. Recently, I was in Colombo, and people that were concerned about it is they're losing their job. And my questions to them was that is, why we need to lose a job? Why you are worried? If you are doing your job correctly, if you are a good leader, and you are committed to the organizations, you should not worry about your job. Research is showing that many organizations, they are trying to use the AI for the simple reason they want the output at the right time. Output at the right timing. That's all. They're not looking for anything else. And that is going to open the biggest questions, all right, in terms of how to achieve the output. Today we have seen that, all right, if you look at on many countries today, the economic crisis, what we see, the financial crisis, corruptions, exchange rate is putting the more and more challenging on every organizations. In olden days, when we were talking about the big data, the leader decision was taking the data and doing analyzing, taking the data and doing the analyzing and making the decision making. But today, sadly to say, that is, decision making is made by a person. We do the research just based on the experience. And the experience cannot give the good decision making. That's why we are using the AI for the decision making, for giving the answer. Because AI is taking the big pool of the data and analyzing those data and giving the answer. And what we see, there are a lot of information is available. But what we need is, we need a good leader, have a good technical skills, that are able to do the research, collecting the data, analyzing the data, and looking for the future's development. And that research culture, today we cannot find among many leaders. Many of you, you work in the organization. What you can see today is, the leader will say that based on my experience, based on my previous organization, seldom we can find that the leader saying that is, I have spent few months and I have collected a lot of data and I have done the research on it, and this is where we need to look forward. And that is what the biggest challenges we are facing in the many organizations. Every of you, you're a leader, and you need to do analyzing how you manage and how to run your organization for future. Sometimes there are two types of the leadership style is going on. One is the leader is willing to share the knowledge. The leader is a very good in terms of the listening. The leader is a person, he is willing to understand the situation. The leader is open-minded. The leader is willing to walk and talk. That is one of the good leadership skill we can find it. But the other hand, which today we are lacking to it, is a dictatorship. The leader, they don't want to talk. They have a lack of the skills of the listening. They have a lack of the leadership. They have a lack of the human values. They have a lack of the, in terms of the understanding the market. And they have a lack of the research skills. Reasoning about a year ago, we wrote a book, myself and group of my colleagues. If you look to academic area, there are many books published on the research methodology for the researcher. But we came back with the idea, we wrote the book in terms of the building research skill. We don't want to teach research method, but we want to build up the research skill. Because today you want to be a good entrepreneur. Today you want to be a good leader. Today you want to run the small businesses. Today you want to run the multinational company. The skills is very, very important. Good leader, today they have a good skills of the listening. We have done the research in the Asia, which is covering the Middle East. Sadly, we find that in average, the leaders that are running the medium and the big industries today, they read only 2 books a year. That means their lack of the knowledge. They don't read. And all they are depending on their own experiences. This morning, I had a very good meeting with one of the big CEOs of the pharmacies industries in Malaysia. And they are turning around the businesses today. Why? Because they are willing to give the big amount of the research funding to my university for one reason, very simple reason. And the reason is, all right, consumer turning to the traditional medicine. They are not looking to anymore for Western medicine. Western medicine, in terms of the consumption, is going down, and traditional medicine is going higher. And they want to do research to analyze that. What is the future of the pharmacies in Asia? If more people, they move with the traditional medicine, what will happen to the Western medicine? But the good part of the democratic leadership is that they are willing to accept something is not moving right. They are willing to accept they do the mistake 10 years ago. After COVID, they took the things very, very easy. Now, they are getting up and finding that is they need to do big research to find out how to balance between the traditional medicine and the Western medicine. Now, what we are looking to the challenges, all right, is a good leadership. They have a good values. One of the things which the good leader is emphasizing in big organizations today, how to motivate the young generation, especially today we talk about Generation Z. How to balance between them. I believe that many of you have seen that these generations is coming to the job market and they're living as they wish. How to do the motivation? For example, if today you look to the 3M company, I believe that many of you have seen this 3M brand in the pharmacies, in the many businesses today. They are around 135 years old company, very successful till today. And one of the motivations they use to maintain the organization is that they treat everyone as a leader. Either is a cleaner, or is an office boy, or is a manager. Because they believe that everyone in the organizations, they contribute to the organization growth. But sadly, we can see in many organizations, today manager will say that, or the leader will say that is, because of me, business is running like this. And today, if we don't have a good governance in the organization, and we don't emphasize on the good motivation, which is coming from the good listening skill, what we are going to see that. I will give you some of the examples, especially after the COVID. If you look to the big giant industries, from McDonald's to the Starbucks to the KFC, you can see that they are downfall in their businesses. Other in US, in Asia, in the Middle East, businesses is dropping down. But the other hand, we can see a growth of the businesses, especially from China market. Other you can take from the car manufacturing to the consumer market to the food industries. Chinese product is taking over the market. One of the good things the Chinese they start to do, they listen to the consumer and create a product what consumer they want. But you will ask the questions, what is the problem we are facing? Why we cannot do similar thing like what Chinese is doing today? The answer is very simple. When we don't have a good leadership and the governance is not there, the leader always, they are concerned about their own position. And today they are thinking about that they are going to use the AI to manage the organizations or tracking the people. And that is the challenges is starting. Good ethic, good values, good governance, either we use AI or we don't use AI, is going to be there. Good leader is like a father in the organization, father in the family. Many of you, you are father or you are a mother at home. What do? You do motivate your children. You encourage them. As a parent, as a leader, you try to motivate people. Many of my students today, before they move to do PhDs or master, they always will ask is that why I should do my PhD or do my master? My answer to them is that is you are not studying for yourself. You are not studying because you want a big salary, but you are going to study for your children. Because today, if you go for the higher educations, you are going to motivate your children. If father, mother can do a study, why you guys, you cannot do that? Today, I'm proud to see many of my students, they will come back to say that, hey, Prof, you know what happened? I said, what happened? They say, oh, my daughter, my son, they want to do master, they want to do PhD, they want to challenge me. I will smile. A good leadership is set the example. If today we are going to say that is, you're a leader, we need to do A, B, C, D. The first person need to do A, B, C, D is a leader. Putting the good values, good governance. We are not going to face the problem with the corruptions. Today, if you follow the news, whether it's from US to the Europe to the Asia, we are facing that many people are facing the problem on the corruption. Why the corruption is happening today? Because organization, they don't carry the good governance. If the organization having the good governance, good system, things is going to be much, much better. And once we develop this, we should not worry. I keep saying that to the people. I'm not worried about the AI. Because AI is an information center. You give the information and they will give you the output. Information given, information output. There is nothing in between. I want everyone to exercise this very basic understanding of the AI. I believe that many of you, you try to use or saying that is you want to have a problem with your mobile and you will try to use the call center. So once you call to call center, what the call center will do, they will connect you to the AI and AI will try to answer to your problems. Now, I would like you to, tomorrow you exercise this. You call to your mobile center, let's say they put you in AI and say that you have a problem with your mobile. They will give you the answer. Once they give you the answer, in the bottom of the answer, they will come back to say that, have I answered to your question, yes or no? You click no. Then they will go back to the next page and the next page and the next page, and you continuously reject the answer is given. Finally, when the AI is not able to solve the problems, they will reply to you is, I will tell to my human agent, to contact with you. That means AI is not able to answer to your problems. Why? Because information is given is not sufficient. And that is going to open the biggest challenges, all right? How to manage the changes is happening today. Recently, when I was among the CEOs in Sri Lanka, I asked them the one question: have you prepared yourself for 2026, when we are going to see more political crisis in the Middle East, in Europe? They were looking to my eyes. And I told them, you are not ready. And they were smiling. They says, yes, they have not planned anything. I say, if you have not planned yourself, how are you managing the future changes we are facing? So a lot of things is going to happen. Do we are ready? If we are not ready, how we are going to guarantee the future growth of the organization? How we are going to see that, for example, recently we have this civil war, or the war in Gaza, in Palestine. How much is a fact to the world today? We are facing the war in Russia. All right. We are facing the political problem between the one country to another countries. And all these things is going to be a fact to any organization today, unless a leader is willing to change the rule. They are preparing themselves. They are willing to align with what is going to happen in the next. If we are willing to do, we are willing to understand, organization willing to transfer from existing to the future development. One of the biggest challenges today we have seen in many organizations, other in Asia, in the Middle East, all right? We don't develop the framework of the 5 years plan with the mindset of, if anything happen, what we want to do. For example, I was asking the questions, if the China go with the war with the Taiwan, it's not going to happen. But I asked the question, if the China is going to fight with the Taiwan, what is your plan is going to be? They says, we don't know. I said, how much the product you're using is a China base? They cannot answer. I tell him, do you remember when we had the COVID? Many organizations, they suffer because the raw material cannot come from China, because of the COVID issue. I said, what will happen the next? But if the governor of the organization is well arranged, they are in the right framework, and the leader is willing to take the challenges, leader is willing to do a lot of research, seeing the future effect, And what are the changes we are going to face? Yes, organization can survive at any challenges we are going to face, but political or climate change. Today we have seen that many organizations is suffering, not only because of the political, but also because of the climate change, which we are facing more and more challenges today. And that is becoming very, very important when we want to transfer our organization from the existing to the future. But one thing, AI cannot replace the real human. Human is a person, is willing to read, is willing to have a good research skill, he's having the good technical skills. Those kind of the human AI cannot replace. But what we are seeing that how efficient we are going to be to respond with the changes is happening today all over the world. One of the things we have done a lot of research, and some of my students, they have done the very specific research on seeing that how multinational organization can manage the generation Z. What challenges they face today is a very specific research, and that he has contributed to the 20. This morning I was having the breakfast meeting with him, and he's expected about 27 growth to the organization. One thesis. Because the thesis identified that this generation Z, they don't like, for example, long meeting. They are not willing to sit down in the one corner to talk. They are action-oriented. They prefer, for example, on short meeting or WhatsApp messages and so on. They are more hands-on comparing to the traditional way we are doing the job. And when he apply output, because he was a CEO of the company, he applied the output, he can see the growth. And why we need to talk about change leadership? The answer is very simple. Many people that will ask me, why not the young generation, they need to change? I said that they don't need to change because they are in the comfortable zone. They don't need to change. The leader need to change because without this generation Z, they have a good technical skills, they have a good basic knowledge, and we as a leader, we need to change. Today, if you ask from many psychology and ask how parents need to manage the children, answer is very simple. Psychology will say to the parents, don't be a parent to your children, be a friend to your children. Means is parents need to change now, not the children that don't need to change anymore. And the governor is becoming very important how to set up the good efficiency of the good example, good role model, good example in terms of the communication skills, and aligning all the strategic in terms of the future generation. And that is becoming the biggest challenges today, especially when AI is going to take over the human. Yes, AI will take the human over if the human is not going to do the proper job. But the good part is, if you just follow the news, many European countries today, they are removing the gadget from the school because they find that too much technology is not good for the human. And that is also is becoming very interesting part today. We have done the research, is still is going on for one of my own student PhD in education. We are we are doing the research between the traditional teaching the maths and using the tools of teaching the maths, like calculator and everything. And thanks to our medical schools, all right, we are measuring how much is going to affect on brain development. And many psychologists today, they believe that traditional learning is better than the technology learning today. Now, how we do this? Number one is a good leadership. Explaining and practicing. For example, if we say that everyone, they need to come on time, the first person should come on time is a leader. There are many research he has carried on among the SMEs today. Many members of the organizations, they don't have a belief to the vision of the organization, or they don't remember the vision of the organization. And because of the mistake of the leader, his impact is going to be, we cannot build up the confidence among the people. For example, with my experience in the Japanese industry, all right, they are transferring in terms of the reducing the cost today, and everyone, they believe to it. And you know why they can reduce the cost? Because they put it on the part of the vision in the good governance. If the cost reduce, profit margin will go higher. If the profit margin go higher, everyone, they get the good benefit at the end of the day. It's not to the pocket of the Toyota or the CEOs, but everyone is going to get the better benefit about it. For example, I think soon you are going to see the Emirates is going to give the bonus. Last year, they give a very good bonus to the staff. One of the good strategic Emirates is using today. They says that if you give the good service, we will get a high volume of the passenger. When we get the high volume of the passenger, we are going to make more money. If we make the more money, everybody will get a good bonus. It's a very good examples of the governors today. Now, to do this, all right, is we need to bring everyone together, engage with everyone. Sadly, we can see that, all right, not everybody in the organizations, they understand and they knows what is happening in the organization. If we engage from the consumer to everyone, people that can give the good ideas today. And the good ideas in form of the feedbacks, it can support and it can improve the organization. IBM in this case is one of the good examples. When they allow everyone in the organizations to talk, give feedback, the staff they become more and more satisfied today. And we can see that IBM share is going higher and higher. Why? Because everyone in the organization is contributing to the organization. Now, to build up the good governance, I believe that now if you are working in the UAE, and the government of UAE is emphasizing a lot in the governance, all right? What is important is a good framework and with the very details of the role and responsibility of everyone. It can come from cleaner, for example, how to reduce the cost, how individual is going to reduce the cost, usage of electricity, timeline, efficiencies, in terms of the managing the workflows, avoiding, for example, overtime. If we write down every single responsibilities, then the organization can have a good governance. Governance can be effective if everyone, they have a very clear about the activities and responsibilities and the outcome. One of the success we have seen that is increase in terms of the success rate in terms of the production is a Coca-Cola is one of the good example. The framework is a very, very detailed. And why the Coca-Cola is very successful, they took up the same governor of the Japanese from Toyota and they modify it to the American style. And that showed that they can have a good success rate. Today, myself and few of my colleagues, we engage in a lot of consultancy of developing the good governance framework for many manufacturers in Southeast Asia. Reason one, we have finished one project, very interesting project for plastic manufacturing, how to reduce the overtime and reject product. We have spent nearly 9 months research to identify why the reject product is very high. But when we develop the good governance, when we explain to everyone for the last 3 months, they are showing that the reject product is reducing. Why? Because we told to everyone, very simple rules. If the profit margin go high, everybody will get a bonus. But to get a good bonus, we need to reject the cost and increase the profit. So now everyone is looking for the profit margin and the bonus, and they perform much, much better. And Coca-Cola is one of the good example. They show the success rate. Now, what are the benefits we get? Number one is we can establish a good brand product and we can stay longer in the market regardless of the competition, regardless of the pricing. We can still stay in the market today. For example, today we can see that is, if we talk of the fast food industry, McDonald's is facing the big challenges with a similar product is coming to the market, is a bigger size, lower price. When the governor of McDonald's, they were not able to understand the consumer complaints, change leadership, the competitors took over. A Starbucks, because of the wrong leadership, if you look to the previous CEO of the Starbucks, when the staff, they were giving the feedbacks about the consumer complaint, he ignored consumer complaint. And because of that, consumer, they start to look for alternate product. Immediate result, Chinese coffee industries is coming up to the market. Vietnamese is coming up to the market. And today, they are selling the share market of the Starbucks in China to the Chinese because they cannot survive in the market. Why? Because they were not able to listen to the feedback. They ignore the feedbacks. And that is where the challenges is starting. How efficient we are going to be. For example, the big question is coming is why robot is going to take the human job? My answer to them is very simple, because the robot is efficient. If he's supposed to finish the job, they finish the job. What are the human? Human, we are not willing to finish the job. We shortcut our job. In between our work, we are, for example, checking our WhatsApp messages. We are watching the YouTube. And our own responsibilities today, when the human is changing and is not having the good governance, definitely businesses is going to shift from human to AI. The other hand, what we are going to see is a climate change. We can see what is happening today. Just as the raining season is going to over, flood situation and many damages, many people lost, is all because the organizations, they don't have a good governance. When we do the project, we don't consider the human as a future. The governor is not strong enough. And to do that, all right, these are some of my own research areas, all right? And we need to understand is how much AI is going to enhance in the future. If you ask my response, I can assure you another 3 years, nobody will talk about AI anymore. This will happen if the leadership can become the agent of the change, willing to change. And how agent is going to be changed is a mindset. Mindset of the future leader must have a two good skill. One is a research skill, one is a statistical skill. They are able to analyze this. They can develop the research skill and statistical skill if they are agile and they are willing to change and transfer themselves. And this transformation is not going to happen unless we are willing to connect ourselves to the growth of the organization. And how we can develop this connection? If we can develop the organization, people, they can see the future on it. For example, I joined to organization and I feel that I'm going to grow older and older in the organization. I'm not going to look for another job. And how we can do this? If we go for the continuous learning, we are able to adapt to the technology. We are able to manage the technologies. We are able to, for example, to learn about the big data. We are able to learn about, for examples of digital technologies. And by doing so, we have a different mindset, different culture. And why we need to develop the different culture? We need to be sustainable. Otherwise, we are going to lose a profit because consumer mindset is changing. They are demanding. And why they are demanding? Because they are connected to social media. They are learning a lot. They are getting feedbacks. And they keep demanding that. For that demand, what we need to do? My dear participant, we need to have a purpose in our life. What we want to be in the future. Why we need to have a purpose in our life? Because we want to improve ourselves. And how you can improve yourself? Can you be without your gadget for 1 or 2 hours a day and take the hard copy of the books and read the books? You should not be engaged so much in the information is given in social media. Especially today, we are doing a lot of research, the effect of the social media in the human brain. And to do this, always we need to do a very simple exercise. We need to believe that we don't know anything. We are willing to keep learning and learning and learning and learning. And we should not be satisfied with what we have today. If we do this, on always I will say to everyone, We should not worry about the AI and what AI is going to do with us. No, we don't need to worry about that. And that is a good challenges we are going to face today. And I can assure to everyone is AI is a temporary solution. Why? Because many countries they are going to find that is still we need human. Still we need the people to think about the futures. AI, if is a lack of information, is not going to sufficient to work. Yes, it can do the basic. Now, if you follow the news in China and Japan, many restaurants they start to use the robot in terms of the serving. In the beginning was very interesting. You go to the restaurant, robot is coming to serve your food. You take your camera, you take the video out of it. Now the story is becoming different. In the same restaurant, consumers are not satisfied. They need a human. They need a human smile. They need a human communication. And many restaurants today, they are removing the robot and putting the human bags today. In the beginning was fun. Everybody was looking for something new. But as a human grow, human need the human. And that is where in many of my speech today, all right, I will say that we should not worry about AI. AI is a very temporary replacement. And what we are going to see that is, if the human is going to challenge the machine in terms of the knowledge, in terms of the research skill, in terms of the analytical skill, they can do better. That's why I emphasize on my student today. You go on with your postgraduate, do your master, do your research, build up the good skills, and don't worry about your future. All right? So this is a very short briefing. We hope that we can have a more continual engagement with everyone to see the future development. And you have my informations on the screen. If you would like to have more questions, you come to me. I'm very happy to respond to any questions if you connect with me. Any questions so far?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for this excellent and even very interesting webinar. But I've just give some questions at the messages. I wish that you may have a look at it. This is I don't know whether you are able to hear me or not.
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Actually, I was a student of business administration bachelor degree in Cairo University, and I can remember that in the past there were two theories we studied. The first one was the restructure of the business organization, and the second one was the re-engineering of the business organization. And now we started to learn the new term of the organizational transformation. May you please just give some explanation or a brief explanation about the differences in between the three theories in the management? Thank you.
You're welcome. Actually, there is no differences on the theories. All right. As you say, that is, we move to idea about it is how we want to respond to the future challenges. In the re-engineering, it was a short-term measurement of the based on the market. All right. we never focus so much in terms of the future, because if you recall back, when we were talking about re-engineering, there were many subjects, many topics about re-engineering. We don't have this climate change issue. We don't have so much political issue. We don't have so much in terms of the governance. We don't have so much issues in terms of the consumer demand. Correct? But today, we need to change. Why we need to change? Because the consumers are very demanding. Political situation all over the world is becoming worse. Exchange rate is affecting. Corruption is increasing everywhere. All right. Now, if we are not willing to transfer the organizations, all right, before that, the other hand, we are facing with the challenges with the generation Z. They're not patient at all. They want everything now. All right. Now, if we are not willing to transfer the organization to respond to the every obstacle of this, what we are going to see that is many businesses is going to be affected. All right. In terms of the theory, the basic theory is the same. There is no differences. The only thing is that is as we move on, we enhance the theories. We enhance the theories. Okay. For example, if you look to mathematics, mathematics is a fundamental of big data, AI, and everything is a mathematics. After mathematics is the Excel. Today, if you look to all the programming, they use Excel. All right. So the fundamental is same, but we enhance it, we modify it to respond to the current situation. I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, but just one comment, Doctor. What is the impact of the necessity for the governors, the governorings on the organizations due to the new aspect of the business transformation?
I don't get your question. I'm sorry.
Now, at the past, there was no relation or even no connection between the re-engineering and the restructure of the business organization. But at the time being, as you explained through this lecture, there is a necessity for the governance at the business organization, so there will be a better transformation of the business. I'm not
Yes.
not quite sure if I'm
No, I got your point. I got your point. Okay. For example, how long you are working today? How many years you are working?
now 22.
20 years. Okay. We take 10 years ago. If you take up 10 years ago, you can see that people, they have more ethics, more feelings, more values comparing to today. Am I right?
Sure, sir. Yes.
Okay. Why? Okay. The answer is very simple. If you look about 10 years ago, our lifestyle was much more comfortable to today.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't have challenges. And when the life is becoming more challenges, all right, what we are going to see is more people, all right, they will try to find a shortcut.
Yes.
All
Exactly.
right. When
Yeah.
the shortcut is happening, either is a leader, all right, or everyone, they try to identify the shortcut to satisfy the basic necessity of their own life. All right. And that is becoming the issues which many organizations today we are telling why we need to set up the good governors, why we need to put everyone to be accountable to the what they are doing today. All right, because people changing, and if we are not willing to put the right good framework of the good governance, good strategic, we are going to see that we are going to face a big challenge today. And sometimes it's going to be out of the control. In any form is going to be a big challenge. All right. And that's why today we are going to, as I mentioned, I do the consultancy of how to set up the good governance, how to answerable. For example, in the one of the organization, we find that it's a very basic. You know, you use a lot of paper in your work process today, stationally as a whole. We find that the stationally used and paid for it, all right, is not equal to the job he has done in the organization. When we went to the details, we found that many of the stationally is going to the personal use because there is no governance, there is no accountability. All right. So all these things is going to become, now the future, we are going to come back with a more framework of how organization is going to survive in these big challenges, which is a very political issue is going to happen. All right. So to do this, the best good example is if every of us, we can good practice. Good practice is becoming to me, we don't talk about any religion, but if any of us, we practice our own good religion values, regardless any religion we believe, I believe that is the world will be more peaceful. Organization, we don't talk. For example, if today you talk about the governance is a fundamental of the religion values, or the religion talk about the good values. All right. And today we are doing a lot of research of identifying, all right, where the problem is raising. All right. Yes. Any question, please?
Thanks so much, Prof. Thank you.
You're welcome. We have, if any of you are interested in the more research area topic, you can connect with me through our office in UAE. We have come up with a lot of research area for any businesses, especially in the hospitalities, hotel industry organizations. We can develop the concept idea between the AI and governance and the business development. We can discuss one individually.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you from all of us at BIA to Dr. Khatibi and everyone attending the webinar. We hope you found it insightful, and stay tuned and follow us on our social media channels as well to stay updated on our upcoming events and sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to see you in the next topic of we are going to organize for everyone. Have a
Thank you
good
very
weekend.
much.
Looking
Thank you,
forward to
Doctor.
see
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.